Good morning, everyone. North Star Knife Reviews. Today we are taking a look at a small and very inexpensive little knife from Ontario Knife Company, which is now, I guess, officially out of business since we are into August. And this is a knife that is not going to be for everybody. For some people it's just going to be too small or not robust enough or whatever. But it might make a decent little, if you just want a little fixed blade, or maybe for kids, if you've got a son, daughter, grandchild, whatever, who likes to be outdoors and maybe does some fishing or hunting, whatever, might be a good idea for them. This is the Ontario Knife Company small fillet knife. And you can, I think, use it as a bird and trout knife. I mean, a fillet knife sort of runs along the line of a bird and trout knife. It's small enough. And let's take a look at the sheath first, because this does come with a sheath. It's a pretty standard OKC sheath. Sorry, mumbling my words there. Has this loop on the back. Not going to be huge. This is not my favorite kind of way to attach it to a belt for a sheath, but it works. Just a nice little sheath, nothing to write home about, but it's decent enough. And then here is the knife, right? Little old hickory. As I say, this is the small fillet, and the length on this is about 3¼ inches, maybe just a hair over. Does have a full flat grind, and no, it's not overly sharp. Probably would work out of the box, but you are probably going to want to touch up that edge, as happens with pretty much every old hickory I've ever had. They don't come particularly sharp, but nice little US made knife. I got this for not quite $12, including the sheath, from Discount Cutlery. Now I do see it a few other places, and it's going to run between about $10 and $17 depending on where you get it. Some places you have to pay shipping, some you won't, so you'll take that into consideration as well. But this could be just a decent little knife. Like I say, if you have kids, now for me, the basic Mora is a great kids fixed blade. It's inexpensive, on par with this, maybe a little cheaper, and it's great for bushcraft. But if you have a kid who's more into like fishing than doing woodsy stuff, this might be a good option. Cheap enough that it's not going to be a big deal if it gets broken or lost. It is carbon steel, all right, 1095 carbon steel. So if you don't take care of it, it will rust, and it's going to develop a patina. But I suppose if you give it to a kid and they don't take care of it and it does rust, well, good teaching moment. All right, you can teach them how to take the rust off and restore the knife. It's going to be easy to sharpen, which again for kids might be a great thing. Learn to sharpen on something like this, and it's small enough that it's not going to take them an extended period of time to finish it. So I think it's a nice little knife. A couple of drawbacks, one for a kid, if carbon steel, if you're concerned about that. The other thing is it is a fairly thin blade, which obviously for a fillet knife you want. It does have some flex, not a ton, but some. But it is only a partial tang. This actually is identical to the way they do their paring knives, and it's actually the same handle. I've got an old hickory, is this a 4-inch? A little over 4 3/16, we'll call it. This is the large paring knife from Ontario. Now this, again, this is a saber grind, whereas this is a flat grind. But let's look at the handles. The handles are exactly the same, okay? It's just that halfway tang, little cutout. So they're using the old hickory, the same old hickory handles, that's fine. I would prefer to see it a full tang, but this is a small knife. You're probably not going to need it that badly. The paring knife is going to be a little bit thicker, and you can see, when you compare this to this paring knife, you can see how small this knife is. Now, would this be my favorite bird and trout knife? No. I really like the CKRT Mossback Hunter. But this will certainly work. And actually, you can carry this in your pocket. The day I got it, I pulled it out of the mail, took a quick look at it, and then I had to run some errands. I just stuck it in my pocket and then forgot about it for a couple hours. And then I was like, oh, I still have this in my pocket. You know, it's very light. If at least if your pockets are deep enough, it's not going to take up that much room if you wanted to carry it pocket-wise. But otherwise, you know, I don't know. Seems like it could be a decent little blade. And US-made blade. I don't know if the sheath is US-made or made in China or wherever. But, you know, decent little US knife. Get them all you can. You guys have a great day. I'll talk to you next time.